Stop chasing people. Stop watching everybody else. Stop wondering who is ahead of you. Stop checking who noticed you, who ignored you, who left you, who disappointed you. This breath is real. Stop giving your energy to people who are not building the life you are supposed to live. Because there is something you must understand. Your attention is your life. Whatever continuously receives your attention eventually receives your energy. And whatever receives your energy begins shaping your future. So if your attention is constantly on other people, their opinions, their progress, their decisions, their approval, their rejection, what remains for you? Very little. And this is why you feel exhausted, not necessarily because you are doing too much, but because your energy is scattered everywhere. A part of you is thinking about yesterday. A part of you is worried about tomorrow. A part of you is comparing yourself with someone online. A part of you is waiting for somebody to appreciate you. A part of you is replaying conversations that already ended. And somewhere beneath all of this noise, you have forgotten yourself. It is time to come back. It is time to focus. It is time to value yourself, not tomorrow, not when somebody finally chooses you, not when you become successful, not when your life becomes perfect. Now, because the way you treat yourself today determines the person you will become tomorrow. And self-respect does not begin when the world respects you. It begins when you decide that your own life deserves your full attention. You have spent enough time trying to convince people of your value. Enough time trying to prove that you are good enough. Enough time explaining yourself to people who already decided not to understand you. Enough time lowering your standards because you were afraid of being alone. Enough time abandoning yourself so somebody else would stay. There comes a point where you must say, enough. I cannot continue giving away pieces of myself just to receive temporary acceptance. I cannot continue betraying my own peace to maintain relationships that constantly disturb it. I cannot continue asking people to see my worth while behaving as though I do not see it myself, because people learn how to treat you partly through what you repeatedly tolerate. If you accept disrespect because you fear losing someone, you teach yourself that their presence is more valuable than your dignity. When you keep chasing someone who consistently walks away, you teach yourself that their attention is more important than your peace. When you break your boundaries, every time someone becomes uncomfortable with them, you teach yourself that your needs are negotiable. And slowly, your relationship with yourself becomes weaker. You stop trusting yourself. You stop listening to yourself. You stop believing that your feelings matter. Then one day, you look into the mirror and realize you have become a stranger to the person standing there. This is why focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. You cannot build a strong life while continuously abandoning the person who must live it. The Shaolin way teaches us something important about strength. Real strength does not begin with controlling another person. It begins with controlling yourself, your attention, your reactions, your habits, your impulses, your tongue, your emotions, your direction. Anyone can feel powerful when everything is going well. But who are you when someone rejects you? Who are you when your plan fails? Who are you when nobody is encouraging you? Who are you when someone insults you? Who are you when the result does not come? Who are you when motivation disappears? This is where your training becomes visible. A calm sea does not reveal the strength of a ship. The storm does. Difficulty reveals what has actually been built inside you. And perhaps this is why some situations keep repeating in your life. Not because life is against you, but because the lesson has not yet been learned. You keep choosing people who make you question your worth. You keep saying yes when you want to say no. You keep postponing what matters. You keep returning to the same distractions. You keep starting again because you never remained consistent long enough to finish. And every time the pattern repeats, you ask, why does this keep happening? Perhaps the better question is, what am I refusing to change? Because awareness without change becomes another form of suffering. You can understand your problem perfectly and still remain trapped if you never change your behavior. You can know that the relationship is unhealthy and still return. You can know that your habits are destroying your progress and still repeat them. You can know exactly what needs to be done and spend another year thinking about it. Knowledge is not transformation. Action is transformation. Discipline is transformation. Repetition is transformation. You become different when your behavior becomes different. This is why you must stop waiting for the feeling. Stop waiting to feel motivated. Stop waiting to feel confident. Stop waiting to feel ready. You will lose years this way. The person who waits until they feel ready often watches the person who began afraid move ahead. You do not need confidence to begin. You need courage. Confidence comes later. Confidence is the evidence created when you repeatedly face what once frightened you. You take the step, you survive. You learn, you take another step, you become stronger. Then one day, something that once terrified you becomes normal. This is training. You cannot think yourself into strength. You must practice strength. You cannot think yourself into discipline. You must practice discipline. You cannot think yourself into self-respect. You must behave in ways that demonstrate self-respect. Every action is teaching your mind something about who you are. Every time you say, tomorrow when you could begin today, you teach yourself that your commitments are optional. Every time you choose distraction over responsibility, you teach yourself that comfort has authority over you. Every time you allow someone to repeatedly cross your boundaries, you teach yourself that your peace is negotiable. But every time you choose differently, something changes. You get up when the alarm rings. You tell yourself, my word matters. You remain focused when your mind wants distraction. You tell yourself, my future matters. You walk away from disrespect. You tell yourself, my dignity matters. You continue when nobody is watching. You tell yourself, I do not need applause to remain committed. This is how self-value is built, not through repeating, I am valuable, while continuously behaving as though you are not, but through actions that prove you value your time, your body, your mind, and your future. How do you know whether you value yourself? Look at how you spend your time. Look at what you tolerate. Look at what you consume. Look at how often you break promises to yourself. Look at the environment you repeatedly return to. Your habits often reveal your level of self-respect more clearly than your words. If you value your mind, you become careful about what enters it. If you value your body, you become careful about how you treat it. If you value your time, you stop giving hours to meaningless distractions. If you value your peace, you stop inviting unnecessary chaos into your life. If you value your future, you become willing to sacrifice something today. This is not punishment. This is love in a disciplined form. People often think self-love means comfort. Give yourself whatever you want comfort and never challenge yourself. Never become uncomfortable. But sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is say, no, no. I will not stay in bed. No. I will not return to that habit. No. I will not contact that person again. No. I will not waste another evening scrolling through other people's lives. No. I will not abandon my goals because today feels difficult. No, discipline is sometimes the highest form of self-respect. Because your weaker self wants what feels good now. Your stronger self wants what will create a better future. Every day, These two versions of you meet. The weaker version says, later. The stronger version says, now. The weaker version says, stay comfortable. The stronger version says, grow. The weaker version says, everyone needs to understand you. The stronger version says, understand yourself. The weaker version says, prove them wrong. The stronger version says, stop making your life about them. This last one is important. Do not build your entire transformation around revenge. Do not become successful because you want somebody who rejected you to regret losing you. Do not become attractive because you want someone from your past to notice. Do not become disciplined because you want people who underestimated you to feel ashamed. Because if your growth still depends on their reaction, they still control you. Become better because your potential deserves to be explored. Become stronger because you want to know what you are capable of. Become disciplined because you respect the life you have been given. Become peaceful because chaos has taken enough from you. This journey must eventually become about you, not them. The moment you stop needing to prove yourself, your energy changes. You become quieter. You become more selective. You stop explaining every decision. You stop announcing every plan. You stop needing everybody to know what you are working on. You begin understanding the power of silent development. The seed grows underground. Before anyone sees the tree, roots grow in darkness. The foundation is created before the building rises. Your strongest season may be the one nobody understands. You disappear from certain places. You stop participating in meaningless conversations. You decline invitations. You spend more time alone. And people may say, you have changed. Yes, that is the point. You are supposed to change. The tragedy would be remaining exactly the same after everything life has tried to teach you. Growth will change your relationships. Growth will change what you enjoy. Growth will change what you tolerate. Growth will change the conversations you can no longer participate in. Growth will sometimes make you lonely, because the old version of you had connections that the new version can no longer maintain. Do not immediately fear this loneliness. Sometimes solitude is where you meet yourself without the influence of everybody else. Who are you when there is nobody to impress? What do you want when nobody is telling you what you should want? What matters to you when social comparison disappears? What's your life look like when you stop performing? These are important questions because many people live their entire lives trying to fulfill expectations they never consciously chose. The degree, the job, the money, the relationship, the house, the status. They reach everything they thought would make them happy. Then they sit alone and wonder why something still feels empty. Because achievement and alignment are not always the same thing. You can be successful in a life that does not belong to you. This is why stillness matters. The mind needs space to see clearly. If every empty moment is filled with noise, you never hear what is happening inside you. You wake up, bon on. You eat, bon on. You travel, bon on. You wait somewhere. You lie in bed, bon on. There is never silence. Then you say, I don't know what I want. Of course you don't. You have heard everybody else all day. When did you listen to yourself? Put the phone down and sometimes walk without headphones, sit without entertainment. Loim's boredom, loim's silence. At first, you may become uncomfortable. Thoughts will appear, memories will appear. Emotions you have been avoiding will appear. This is not failure. This is awareness. The noise was not creating the thoughts. The noise was helping you avoid them. Now you finally see what needs attention. You cannot master what you refuse to observe. This is one of the foundations of self-mastery. Observe yourself without immediately judging yourself. Notice your patterns. What makes you angry? What makes you jealous? What makes you insecure? What makes you seek validation? What causes you to procrastinate? What do you do when you feel rejected? Your triggers are teachers. They reveal where your freedom is incomplete. If one person's opinion can destroy your entire day, there is something to train. If seeing someone else's success immediately makes you feel worthless, there is something to understand. If one difficult emotion causes you to abandon every healthy habit, there is something to strengthen. Do not hate yourself for these things. Train them. This is the difference. Weakness does not disappear because you criticize yourself. Weakness disappears when you practice the opposite quality consistently. If you lack focus, practice focus. If you lack discipline, practice discipline. If you lack courage, take small courageous actions. If you struggle with solitude, spend deliberate time alone. If criticism controls you, practice receiving opinions without immediately reacting. Train again and again. A Shaolin practitioner does not perform one movement and call it mastery. 1,000 repetitions, 10,000 repetitions. The movement becomes natural because it has been repeated so often that the body no longer negotiates. Your character works the same way. You do not become patient because you understood one quote about patience. You become patient by practicing patience when life makes you wait. You do not become calm because you watched a video about calmness. You become calm by practicing restraint when someone provokes you. You do not become disciplined because you made a beautiful schedule. You become disciplined by following the schedule on the day. You don't feel like following it. Life gives you the training ground every day. The annoying person is training your emotional regulation. The delay is training patience. The difficult task is training concentration. The rejection is training independence. The uncertainty is training courage. The temptation is training discipline. Everything can become practice when you approach life consciously. But most people only want the result. They want a strong body without difficult training. They want success without repeated failure. They want confidence without uncomfortable action. They want wisdom without mistakes. They want peace without learning to let go. They want self-mastery without mastering themselves. There is a price, and the price is often discomfort. You must become willing to be uncomfortable. Not recklessly, not unnecessarily, but deliberately, because comfort becomes dangerous when it becomes your highest priority. If comfort decides every choice, your world becomes smaller. You stop taking risks. You stop trying new things. You stop having difficult conversations. You stop pushing yourself. You begin organizing your entire life around avoiding discomfort. Then, eventually the smallest difficulty feels enormous. Do not train yourself to require perfect conditions. Train yourself to function when conditions are imperfect. Some days you will wake up motivated. Use it. Some days you will wake up tired. Do what you can anyway. Some days you will feel confident. Move. Some days doubt will be present. Move carefully, but continue. Consistency matters more than emotional intensity. One perfect week changes very little. 1 year of consistent effort can transform everything. This is why you must stop looking for dramatic change. People want a life-changing morning, a life-changing speech, a life-changing decision. But transformation often happens quietly. You read every day, nothing dramatic happens. You train every day, nothing dramatic happens. You work on your skill every day, nothing dramatic happens. You stop returning to destructive patterns, nothing dramatic happens. Then months pass. One day, somebody says, "You've changed." Of course you changed. You were changing every day. They simply could not see it yet. Growth happens invisibly before it becomes undeniable. Trust that. Stop checking every 5 minutes to see whether the seed has become a tree. Do the work. Let time participate. Patience is part of discipline. Some of you are destroying your peace because you believe your life should already look different. I should have more money by now. I should be further ahead. I should already have the relationship. I should have achieved more. Who told you? You are comparing your timeline to someone else's. You do not know their beginning. You do not know their advantages. You do not know their sacrifices. You do not know their struggles. You are comparing visible outcomes while ignoring invisible circumstances. Stop, deep breath. Comparison removes gratitude from your life. There will always be someone ahead of you. Always, if you become wealthy, somebody will be wealthier. If you become successful, somebody will be more successful. If you become strong, somebody will be stronger. If your peace requires being ahead of everybody, peace will never arrive. Compete with the person you were yesterday. Did you become more disciplined, more aware, more patient, more courageous? Did you handle something today better than you would have 1 year ago? That is progress. Respect progress. Small progress matters. You do not need to change your entire life this week, but you must stop wasting entire weeks waiting for change. Today matters. This morning matters. This evening matters. The next hour matters. The future is not created in the future. It is created here. Now, through choices that feel ordinary, what you do today becomes the material from which tomorrow is built. So ask yourself, what deserves my attention today? Not next year, today. What is the most important thing I can complete? Who do I need to stop chasing? What distraction needs to disappear? What conversation needs to happen? What promise do I need to keep? Simplify. A scattered mind feels overwhelmed because it tries to hold everything simultaneously. One thing do it, then the next. This is focus. Focus is not doing more. Focus is refusing to give equal importance to everything. Some things do not deserve your attention. Some people do not deserve another explanation. Some arguments do not deserve your response. Some thoughts do not deserve belief. Some invitations do not deserve a yes. Some opportunities do not deserve pursuit. Learn to say no. Every meaningful yes requires many no's. If you say yes to your health, you may need to say no to certain habits. If you say yes to your purpose, you will say no to certain distractions. If you say yes to peace, you may need to say no to certain people. If you say yes to growth, you must sometimes say no to comfort. This is the cost of alignment. You cannot carry everything into the next version of your life. Some things must be released, and release can hurt. You may love someone and still need distance. You may appreciate your past and still know you cannot live there. You may enjoy a habit and still understand that it is weakening you. Letting go does not always mean something was meaningless. Sometimes it means its season is complete. Have the courage to recognize when something no longer belongs on your path. Stop trying to force what continually requires you to lose yourself. If keeping something requires losing your peace, your dignity, your health, your direction, and your identity, what exactly are you keeping? Value yourself enough to walk away. And when you walk away, do not spend the next year looking backward. Walk. The road ahead deserves your attention. There will be moments when you question yourself. That's normal. There will be moments when loneliness makes the old life look attractive. That's normal. There will be moments when discipline feels harder than returning to comfort. That's normal. Do not interpret every difficult emotion as a command. You can miss someone without returning. You can feel afraid without stopping. You can feel uncertain without abandoning the path. You can feel tired without giving up. An emotion is information, not an instruction. Observe it, feel it, then decide from your values. This is emotional maturity. Many people do the opposite. Emotion first, action immediately, regret later. Anger appears, Moshe sent, fear appears, opportunity rejected, loneliness appears. Wrong person contacted, insecurity appears. Boundary abandoned, create space. Breathe, wait. Ask, if I act from this emotion, will I respect the decision tomorrow? Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is nothing for a moment. Silence. Pause. Allows the emotional wave to pass. Then choose. The person who can pause becomes difficult to manipulate because other people can no longer press a button and instantly control their behavior. An insult does not automatically create anger. Rejection does not automatically create desperation. Attention does not automatically create attachment. Praise does not automatically create arrogance. You choose. This is freedom, and freedom begins inside. You may not control the world. You may not control what someone says. You may not control whether they choose you. You may not control whether the opportunity arrives. You may not control whether the plan works exactly as expected. But you control whether these things become the master of your inner world. This is why you must build your center, your values, your habits, your routines, your principles, your relationship with yourself. Because life changes. People come, people leave, money arrives, money disappears. Successes comes, failure comes, praise comes, criticism comes. If your identity is attached completely to external conditions, every change becomes an identity crisis. Know who you are beneath the conditions. Who are you without the title? Who are you without the relationship? Who are you without applause? Who are you when nobody is watching? Character is what remains. Build character. Build something that cannot easily be taken away. Your skills can travel with you. Your discipline can travel with you. Your courage can travel with you. Your wisdom can travel with you. Your ability to rebuild can travel with you. This is real security, not believing that nothing will ever fall apart. Knowing that if something does, you can stand again. You have done it before. You have survived things that once seemed impossible. Think about that. There were situations you believed would destroy you. You thought you would never recover, yet you are here. You adapted, you learned, you continued. Do not forget your own evidence. Your mind remembers your failures very clearly, and sometimes forgets everything you survived. Remind it. You are stronger than some of your thoughts suggest. But strength must still be trained. Do not use past survival as an excuse to become careless. Use it as proof that you can face the next challenge consciously. Focus now. Value yourself now. You have spent enough time criticizing yourself. Enough time wishing you were someone else. Enough time comparing your chapter to somebody else's. Enough time waiting for permission. Nobody needs to give you permission to take your own life seriously. Begin. Take care of yourself. Work on yourself. Educate yourself. Train your body. Train your mind. Protect your attention. Protect your time. Protect your peace. Become selective about what enters your world. Not because you are better than everybody. Because you finally understand that your life has value, and something valuable should not be treated carelessly. Your time is valuable. Do not give it to everything. Your attention is valuable. Do not give it to everyone. Your peace is valuable. Do not exchange it for temporary approval. Your future is valuable. Do not sacrifice it for a habit that only gives you pleasure for 10 minutes. This is what valuing yourself looks like. It is practical. It is daily. It is often difficult. But slowly, something beautiful happens. You begin trusting yourself. You wake up and feel less internal conflict. Your decisions become clearer because your standards are clearer. You stop chasing because you understand that what needs to be forced constantly may not deserve your energy. You stop begging people to stay. You stop begging life to happen faster. You begin working, preparing, growing, and allowing. You do your part fully. Then you release the outcome. This is not passivity. This is disciplined detachment. Work hard without becoming desperate. Care without clinging. Love without losing yourself. Pursue goals without allowing the result to determine your worth. This balance creates peace. Your value does not increase when you succeed. Your value does not disappear when you fail. Success can reveal your preparation. Failure can reveal what still needs training. Both can teach you. Remain a student. This is one of the most important parts of the path. Never become so proud that you can no longer learn. Never become so successful that you believe training is finished. Never become so confident that you stop observing yourself. The ego loves to announce, "I have arrived." But self-mastery has no final arrival. There is always another level of awareness, another reaction to understand, another weakness to strengthen, another attachment to release, another lesson. Walk humbly. You do not need to become perfect. You need to become present. Present enough to recognize when you are abandoning yourself. Present enough to recognize when ego is speaking. Present enough to know when rest is necessary and when you are simply avoiding the work. Present enough to know which relationships bring growth and which repeatedly create chaos. Present enough to recognize when your life is moving away from your values. Then correct. Do not wait 6 months. Correct today. A small correction now can prevent years of unnecessary suffering. And remember, returning is part of the path. You will become distracted. Return. You will doubt yourself. Return. You may break a promise. Correct it and return. You may fall into an old pattern. Recognize it and return. You may lose focus for a week. Return. The danger is not always losing direction temporarily. The danger is deciding that because you wandered, the journey is over. It is not over. Return. Again, and again, and again. Eventually, returning becomes faster. A bad month becomes a bad week. A bad week becomes a bad day. A bad day becomes a difficult hour. You recover faster because awareness becomes stronger. That is progress. Do not underestimate it. So from this moment forward, make a decision. Stop treating yourself like an afterthought in your own life. Stop waiting for somebody to choose you before you choose yourself. Stop measuring your worth through attention. Stop waiting for motivation to rescue you. Stop waiting for perfect circumstances. Focus on what you can control. Focus on your habits. Focus on your body. Focus on your mind. Focus on your work. Focus on your character. Focus on your healing. Focus on becoming trustworthy to yourself. And value yourself. Value yourself enough to leave what repeatedly hurts you. Value yourself enough to say no. Value yourself enough to spend time alone rather than surrounded by the wrong people. Value yourself enough to do difficult things for your future. Value yourself enough to protect your peace. Value yourself enough to stop returning to environments that require you to become smaller. Value yourself enough to believe that your life deserves discipline. Your transformation does not need to be loud. Let it happen quietly. Let people wonder where you went. You went inward. You went to work. You went to rebuild. You went to understand yourself. You went to strengthen the parts of you that nobody could see. And when you return, do not return looking for applause. Return with peace. Return with discipline. Return with boundaries. Return with purpose. Return knowing that you no longer need everybody to understand you. You understand yourself. You know what matters. You know what deserves your energy. You know what you will no longer tolerate. You know the direction you are walking. That is enough. Your life does not need another year of hesitation. It needs your attention. Your future does not need another promise. It needs action. Your mind does not need more noise. It needs clarity. Your heart does not need more people to chase. It needs your respect. It is time. Time to stop watching everyone else. Time to stop abandoning yourself. Time to stop negotiating with the habits that keep you weak. Time to stop begging for the things that cost you your peace. Time to become disciplined. Time to become focused. Time to become still enough to know yourself. Time to become courageous enough to choose yourself. You have one life. Do not spend it proving your value. Live in a way that shows you already understand it. Focus on yourself. Build yourself. Respect yourself. Train yourself. Forgive yourself. Challenge yourself. And above all, do not abandon yourself. Because when your attention finally returns to your own path, your energy returns with it. Your mind becomes quieter. Your direction becomes clearer. Your standards become stronger. And slowly, the life that once felt scattered begins coming together. Not because the world suddenly changed, because you did. It is time to focus. It is time to value yourself. And it is time to become the person you know you are capable of becoming.